Live. All right, cool, cool. We're live. What's up, guys?
You
Paul
taking off too?
Avicoli.
No, not yet.
No, not yet.
Paul Avicoli here. And Tim, can you mute yourself real quick, please?
Roger that. Done.
All right. Let me finish this bite. Anyways, we are live. I'm glad to see you guys here. We're about we're 3-4 days away from Christmas, 3 days. And I got to be honest with you, I'm going to watch A Christmas Story about 12 times on repeat that day. Why? Because I want to quote that thing from heart. And, I'm going to triple dog everyone I know to do the same thing. So that being said, this call, it's something that, if you don't watch this call, let's say you watch it once, and you're way better off than the 99% of the people who don't watch it at all. But let's say you watch this call and you're like, wow, I picked up some really solid information. We've got some real leaders here, and by leaders, I'm talking people that have been there, done that. They know what they're doing in terms of marketing, and if they don't know everything, they do know something that you don't know. So that being said, if you get something from this call and you're like, damn, that was amazing, I learned something here, then I need you to watch it again, and I need you to watch it again, and I need you to watch it again, and I want 1 million views on my YouTube channel. I'm totally joking, but I really do want you to watch this stuff over and over and over again, because you can't be that naive to think that just because you heard it once that you're going to pick everything up the first time. I've listened to an audio thousands and thousands of times. I'm not even kidding, so many times now that I feel like I can quote everything in there. But each time that I'm able to quote it, it's like I'm climbing this mountain, and the higher that I get, the further it enables me to see. So when I'm able to see further, I'm able to think more clearly. I'm able to understand it and, glean upon it a little bit more. And that's, the point about this. My point here is not that you listen to it once, but if you pick something up and it's valuable to you in your life, you listen to it again and again and again until you master every single little thing that we say in your head first, and then you go apply it. Okay? So anyways, you guys, here's the deal. We're going to try to keep this call a little bit short, but I titled it "How to Stay Motivated 24/7 and Make Shit Happen in 2016." Because I feel like 2016 is going to be the year of the entrepreneur. It's going to be the year for you. It's going to be the year for your business. Whatever you want to do, it can be your year. All right, if you get your thoughts straight now, not January 1st like the rest of the world. Here's the funny thing about 2016 is everyone's going to have a New Year's resolution, and so it doesn't make you any different. It doesn't make you any more different than the next fat dude chilling on his couch, okay, saying I'm gonna get skinny, and then he goes to the gym for about a week and then stops. He's the exact same person as you in the beginning of the year, but the only difference is how far you're willing to take that, how far you're willing to go. So before I keep rambling on here, you guys, I want to introduce you. And by the way, put everything away. If you're doing anything at all, please put it away. I say this at the beginning of every single call because I need you to understand, all right, that when you're focused on something, energy flows. And when that energy flows, you're going to understand it a lot more. So here's the deal. You need to put everything away. I need to put your phone away. Okay, I'm not going to be on my phone. I'm actually going to turn my camera off, so you're not focused on me and you're focused on the speaker. We're going to have everyone muted so you can focus on the speaker. And yeah, I want you to, try to, even though maybe you don't think they're speaking to you, I want you to feel like we're speaking directly to you. I want you to look dead in the person's eyes, all right, and say, this person is speaking directly to me, all right, and what am I going to gain from it? What am I going to learn from it? And then what can I pour out into the others once I learn it? So put everything aside. Okay, the first person I want to introduce you to is Andy Welch. Dude's an absolute beast. I think, I've known him for quite a while. We've never actually hung out in person. I think it's because I smell and he doesn't want to hang around me. But here's the deal. Andy knows his stuff. And, since we already have shit in the title, I might as well say shit, Here's the deal. Andy knows his shit. All right, in the marketing world, I've seen him go from 0 to 100 N-word real quick. Okay, and that I'm not kidding. Like, I've seen him grow so much. I've heard him speak on a call. It's like, damn, dude, I need to get to be around that guy. I need to be like that guy. So listen in, hear what he has to say. And Andy, you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, guys, can you hear me?
Cool, man. I can hear you perfectly.
Cool. I might have a little bit of echo, so if everybody would just mute their mics, that'd be cool. And if I'm blurry, it really doesn't matter, because all that matters is what I'm saying. So if you can hear me, then give me a thumbs up, guys. All right, cool. So my name's Andy Welch. I'm from Annapolis. I've been with this system for about a month now, and in the beginning, I really I wanted to take my time, and I wanted to get everything perfect. I wanted to get my blog set up, and I I was doing all that stuff, making sure everything was perfect, got my domain names, made sure all my images were really, clean, and, looked at everybody else's stuff, but, I wasn't really doing anything that was producing, income or getting leads. So, just the other day, and literally it was just the other day that, I had to talk with Nick, and, he was talking to me about, following up, and it was just awesome. It just like sparked something in my head. It just wasn't even a big deal. It just something went off in my head, and I started to talk to people. I started messaging people on Facebook. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? How are you? And just having a regular conversation with them. They eventually asked, like, so what's this thing that you're doing? What's this system? How are you marketing online and getting all these leads? And then that gave me the opportunity to open up and talk to them about MLSP. So as soon as I started following up with people, I talked to the 5 people, and 2 of them actually got started. So it's that easy, guys. You actually have to follow up. I had all these leads in my back office, and I wasn't doing anything with them. I was just collecting the leads, and leads that are collected they don't mean anything. So you really do have to just follow up with every single person, because 2 sales yesterday. That should just speak for itself. I'm going to keep it pretty short. I don't really have much to say, but following up is important, and I'm just going to keep doing that until the numbers show. Because a ratio is going to show eventually. 2 out of 5 right now. I might not get that lucky next week, but eventually, an accurate ratio is going to show, and those are going to be your results until you can get better. So I'm going to pass it off to Nick, I guess. Is Nick?
Yo, really quick, man, I'm gonna from now on, when everyone stops talking, pass it off to me.
Okay.
I will introduce everybody because I know I like to give you the praise you deserve. So, Andy, can you mute yourself?
Yeah, got it.
Cool. So here's the deal, you guys. Thanks, Andy, so much. We're gonna keep this, like I said, relatively short. Maybe Nick rants for about 45 minutes, like he usually does. But honestly, I learned so much from the guy; it's ridiculous. Next guy I want to introduce you guys to is an absolute beast, a speaker, and I'm not kidding when I say that. I think people tell me, you're good at speaking, but I'm not lying when I tell you right now that Tim is a guy that I look up to when it comes to speaking, because he inspires and motivates me when I see him speak. Just the energy and the passion that he brings to the table is absolutely phenomenal. I actually got to meet him down in Utah a little over a year ago at a company event, and was literally one of the top income earners or top leaders there. Brand new freaking company, so no one was even really making money yet because they were literally just launching. And he still is in that company, and honestly, I think he's going to take it to the billions, and I'm not, I'm excited for him. I think it's going to be a legacy company, and so that being said, I want to introduce you guys to Tim. Shoot him up, and yeah.
Let's go, buddy. Thanks for the introduction. I think that's probably the best introduction I've ever had. So props to you, buddy. But yeah, for me, again, I'm just gonna go off on a little bit of a note here on motivation for you guys that are on the call right now. Just a basis, and I know that a lot of people say this a lot. Okay, it's the why. Your why is what's gonna keep you motivated most of all in whatever it is you do in your life. Because why you're doing it is going to make you get through the tough times. You've heard this. You've all heard this. You've heard this 1,000 times, okay? But it never resonates. It never sits there with you. The reason why it doesn't sit there with you is because you think you know why, like you think you know why, but you don't know why. You don't actually know. You're just thinking you do, right? You're not actually sitting down and thinking about it and being concrete in your why. Right? When you actually discover that why and it pulls you through, it's going to be able to pull you through the tough times. Trust me. It's going to be able to pull you through the tough times. It's going to be able to pull you through the lows. It's going to be able to pull you through all the times where you're thinking about giving up and you don't know where you're going and you're lost, and it's going to make you be able to find your way when you find your why. Right? So discovering that why is a huge part of it. Like when you actually know why you're doing something, it's so much more powerful. Like you'll go through the motions and you'll be so much more passionate and you'll enjoy it more, right? If you're just doing this for the money, which a lot of people do it for, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that, because there's got to be a why. Like think about why you want that money. Think about what you're going to do with that money when you get it. Think about the people you're going to influence when you have it. You know, think about the things that you're going to be, not the materialistic things, but you know what, the increased scope of your life that you're going to be able to influence people with that wealth, right? With that extra money, right? Because I'm sure right now you guys are probably thinking about, hey, you know, if I had extra money in my account, if I had extra money in my bank, you know, I could help my sister out with her mortgage payment, so I could help my cousin out with his situation right now with his wedding, or stuff like that, right? You start thinking outside the box. You start thinking of not making it all about you, and that really drives you to go forward a lot more, I find, right? And I know it's going to resonate with you guys too as well. That for me is one of the major points of being able to stay motivated for 2016. You guys find your why and just develop that why and be passionate. Find your passion, right? Discover your passion, what you're passionate for. Because when you start, when you realize that the process is something that you can actually enjoy, then that's going to be like huge. You guys are just going to like take off, every single one of you. For right now, I've just recently discovered my why, like probably about 5 months ago, and I have not. I've been full sail ever since. Like when Paul introduced MLSP to me 2 months ago, I was like, "Yep, let's go." You know, like I was like, "This is going to help me get to where I need to go." You know, like that's the kind of stuff that I'm open to, things that help me, right? Because I know I'm not going to get there on my own. And I know people here with the system that we're using are there for our benefit and to teach you how to get there the right way. There's a correct way and an incorrect way of doing things. The incorrect way is just going around in circles thinking you know everything, you're doing it by yourself, right? That's not the way to do things. That's not the way to run your life. Every single one of us had to grow up and we had to be taught how to do certain things, right? So same thing comes from online lead gen, everything else that's involved with the system. The best of the best are here. Open your mind, become passionate, know why you're doing it, and learn, and then take action, right? And that's it. That's all I have for you guys.
Appreciate it, you guys. I was literally taking notes. You know, it's funny because I've heard some of these things, like I said, you know, over and over and over again. But when you hear it through a different lens, you have a different, you know, mindset. And as you grow and grow and grow, you're going to take more and more and more away from any single word that someone says. And I believe that words are very, very powerful. Tim gets them across in a very powerful way. But, you know, I think people don't understand how powerful words can truly be. See, in the beginning, there was the Word, right? God was the Word. All right, and he created the world through the word. At least that's my belief system. Okay, I don't know what you believe. All I know is that human beings have the same abilities and powers. They have the ability to create through their word. Their word creates the thought, right? And the thought allows them to create their reality. And I know you've heard, you know, multiple ways of this being said, but the reality is that's the truth. The truth is you are a creator when you speak. And when you speak something into existence, you'll realize, holy crap, this actually works. And it's very, very true. Most people just speak in the wrong things. Most people just ask the wrong questions. And I got to be honest with you, all right, Tim is an amazing speaker. He's got some powerful, powerful words. So thank you so much for speaking, Tim. The next person I want to, I don't know, Jesse, are you feeling it? Are you feeling like you want to inspire some people tonight? If not, it's totally cool.
All right, there we go. I had to get in a room where I can talk. I have my dog.
If you want to speak, I mean, you don't have to.
I can.
I know you didn't bring much. You know, I don't think anyone really came super prepared. I think it's just, you know, we're all speaking our hearts here, and you know, sharing a little bit of, you know, maybe share a story or share, you know, what inspires you and what's going to inspire you into 2016. Like, what do you want your 2016 to look like, and why are you going to make it look that way?
Yeah, tough act to follow with Tim there. I actually took a couple of notes from him as well. But actually, my 2016 looks pretty busy for me, but I'm hoping to actually stay busy and not just the mom thing since the baby's coming in February. So that's actually coming up really quick. It's like almost New Year's. Who knew? So 2016. My goal is to just try and get everything going while still being able to stay at home, since who wants to go to work when they've got a newborn at home, you know what I mean? No one wants to take their newborn to daycare, so that's my motivation. my motivation is to hopefully blow this thing up so that I can stay home. And I'm just really excited for that and getting prepared for that. The finding my why, that is definitely my why. I'm definitely prepared and ready. Like, I've got this whole notebook full of notes from previous hangouts and the Wednesday, just the Wednesday seminars, and even some wake-up calls. I definitely suggest all of you who haven't done a wake-up call to start doing them. They make a lot of sense. They make things make a lot more sense. Also, they help you figure out what to do with your websites and stuff like that, and your blogs. And I just suggest staying on top of it, and I'm just excited for the baby to come and to get this rolling so that I can stay home. So.
Cool. All right. Thanks for sharing. You know, it's funny because I'm just thinking, like, dude, like, I don't know, I could never be a mother, mostly because I'm a guy. But the second, but the
I'd say it's a
second,
good point.
but the second reason is because, you know, it's like I don't know. With kids, I love kids. I don't know if I could handle one right now. And so I just think your kid, right? Like, listening to all of us speak and then listening to you be on these calls and everything is just going to be like an out of the womb network marketer and affiliate marketer, just be like killing it by the age of 4. Like, you're not allowed to join the companies. You'd be like, come on, give me it. Let me get after it. So, anyways, you know, first words are gonna be like MOSP.
Maybe.
So I'm feeling goofy tonight, you guys. But okay, so here's the deal. You know, the next person I want to introduce you to. Thank you so much, Jesse. And the next person I want to introduce you to is Nick Anderson. For those of you guys who don't know him, you know, most of you guys do, but for those of you guys watching on my YouTube channel in the future, for those of you guys who want to, you know, connect with him on Facebook, Nick Anderson. I think there's about 1 million of them, including an NBA player. But you'll see the, you know, the tall, ginger-ish looking dude. And long story short, I met him well over 3 years ago, and you know, like I said, at the time we started in network marketing, and it was a hard time. You know, we actually had some quick success, and that all failed, and we were like trying to move out of our parents' basement, but we never could because, you know, well, when you're not making money in network marketing, which is about 99% of people, you just tend to get stuck. And then, so long story short, we went through, you know, periods of growth and decrease, growth and decrease, and if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be here. I got to be honest with you guys. Like, I literally, like, I had no one else in the world to kind of work with and lean upon, you know, when times were tough. And so I've learned more from him than I've ever learned from one of my friends. And, you know, they say the law of association is very, very powerful. You become the top 5 people you hang around the most. And I decided, you know, I want to get around this guy more because I want to be successful in life. So if you want to be successful, if you want to have a successful business, if you want to learn marketing, if you want to get, you know, the positive mindset down, if you want to look freaking good, all right, get around Nick Anderson. And with that, I think he's going to share with you some stuff about, you know, staying motivated, because I think, I got to be honest with you, I lived with him for this entire past summer, and I go through periods where it's like really hard for me to want to get up to do something because we can get up whenever, right? But, you know, this kid, even though he gets up late, he works late into the night. He gets up like he'll get up around 11 or 12, but I'm not kidding. From that point on, it's straight up grind and eat, grind and eat. He's always working on something new, and, you know, you're always learning something new around him. And I've never known anyone to be more motivated, more inspired, more focused than Nick. So that being said, Nick, if you want to share with them some stuff, and I guess, you know, I'll close the call out after.
Awesome, man. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sweet, sweet. I appreciate that introduction, man. You're the king of introductions over here, and I can't wait to hear what you're going to say in a little bit, man. I got my notebook out, ready to take some notes as well. And if you guys aren't taking notes yet, you know, like Ray Higdon says, your notes are your uncashed checks. So do you want to be writing your checks and be able to retain information, you guys? It's really, really important. And I remember Paul saying, you know, a short pencil is better than a long memory. So the more notes you take, you're going to be able to review them, you know, go over them. But I want to share some tips with you guys, some things that have helped me out over the past, you know, 3-4 years. It's been a crazy journey, you know, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and also share with you some things that are going to help you stay motivated, because I think motivation, it's elusive. You know, one moment you wake up like freaking 5 in the morning, and you're fired up, you're ready to get to work, you're ready to grind, you're ready to hustle on your business. You go on Facebook, you start talking with a lot of people, you start making videos, and then the next day comes, you do the same thing, then you start receiving some rejection, then you're like, well, shoot, I don't really feel like messaging people. I don't feel like making a video today. I don't feel like creating any content. And then soon that turns into another day, turns into it, and then eventually weeks go by where you're not doing anything and you're wondering why you're not getting the results that you want, when in reality it's just because you don't have the motivation that's pushing you and driving you long term. So I want to share some things that have helped me stay motivated over the past couple of years, and you know, on a consistent basis, you guys. You know, I met up with you know, Rich Scott, if he's on this right now, a guy on the team, Red Robin, the other day, and I was giving him some tips on staying consistent and everything, and I want to share some stories with you guys. You know, I remember back in 2012, you know, when I was first got started network marketing, the first business Paul and I were ever in was a health and nutrition company. And, you know, I remember it like it was yesterday. You know, I was super fired up, probably the most motivated I've ever been, because like Tim was saying, I had a big why, I had a big vision for myself, and I knew what I wanted. The problem was I didn't have the skill set yet. But the thing is, you don't need the skill set. You need the passion. You need the drive. Once you have that, you can learn the skill set along the way. See, so many people out there, they think they have to know everything, or they think they have to have the perfect plan in order to succeed or in order to stay motivated. You know, they think what's hurting their motivation is the fact that they don't have a game plan put out. But if you have a game plan put out and you're just going through the motion, but you don't have a deep-seated why, you don't have a vision for yourself, then, you know, that routine is going to be nothing to you. It's fruitless right there. So, you know, when I was starting out, what I did was I developed a strong why, and I'm going to piggyback kind of on some things Tim said. I know it's like a broken record, but this will help you guys develop a stronger why. The first thing you want to do is develop a why for yourself first. I know a lot of people, they say, well, I want to change the world. You know, I want to retire my parents, right? I want to do things for other people, which is great. I respect that. I want to do the same thing. But if you don't fill your glass up first, how can you expect to fill other people's glasses? It's like you're taking water and you're pouring it into other people's glasses, but your glass is empty. The best way you can help other people out, retire your parents, give back to society, fill your glass up first to the point where it's overflowing, then what's overflowing is what you put into other people's glasses. So you start with yourself first. Just like everything, you know, ancient teachings, you guys, every personal development book talks about how motivation comes within first. So if you have a strong why for yourself, not just money, like what Tim was saying, let's say you want to make an extra $2,000 per month, okay? I want you to write this down. I want to make an extra $2,000 per month. I want you to write down what that money is going to do for you, what that money is going to do for you and your lifestyle. Will it allow you to quit your job? Will it allow you to spend more time with your kid? Stay home? Will allow you to go skiing all the time, like every other day? Will allow you to travel, eat better foods, more organic foods? What is this going to do for you, your health, your happiness, and your lifestyle, okay? Once you have that down, every single day you should just be spending time visualizing it. The more the better, you guys. You know, when I wake up, you know, whether it's at like 5 in the morning or sometimes I'll wake up at like noon, you know, I visualize. Every time I wake up, I visualize what my lifestyle is going to look like. And I feel as if it's already happened. See, you want to feel the emotion that you've already accomplished it. What's going to hold you back is having doubt. And I'm going to show you guys how to remove some doubt in a little bit and, you know, step into faith. And faith is basically, you know, the belief in what's unseen. So if you have a why for yourself first, this is going to allow you to transition into having a why for other people, okay? So you start with yourself first. That's the roots right there, okay? Then if you want to have a why for other people around you, people in your social circle, like your family members, maybe like your relatives, if you have a why for them, or, you know, your kids, you know, leaving a legacy behind for them. So you want to retire your parents, maybe you want to buy your mom a beach house, okay? You know, I remember when I was Christmas of 2012. At this point, I was super struggling in my business. I was looking for ways to, you know, recruit more people, and the only way that I really knew how to recruit before I had MLSP, before I had attraction marketing, was cold prospecting. I had burned through my warm market. So I went on YouTube and I saw a Cesar Rodriguez video, cold prospecting, you know, how to become a headhunter. So I was like, all right, this looks like pretty cool stuff. I could see it working. So I went to the mall around Christmas time, probably about a week before, and I was walking around the mall super nervous, and I saw these kiosks in the mall, right? So I'd go up to the people in the kiosks with no intention to buy anything. My intention was just, I'm going to get them in my business. So I would approach them, and I would ask them a few questions about what they're selling, what they're doing, and then they would try and reel me in and get me to buy the product or whatever it was. But I'd always ask them this question and say, hey, you know, would you like to earn an extra stream of income on top of what you're currently doing here if it wouldn't interfere with this job? And most of them were like, what is it? Then I would try and explain everything on the spot, or I would freeze. And if you guys have ever gone through this before, you know how frustrating this can be. So at that time, I was going around with the intention of trying to sign people up. See, I was always focused on myself and how I could grow my business. And at that time, Christmas time, I should have been focused on, what can I get for other people to make their life better? What presents should I be buying for my parents, my family members, my brothers, things like that. And at that time, I was just struggling miserably to get people in my business. But once I finally started researching online, learned about attraction marketing, I was able to attract people to me, and it got to the point where in 2013, 2014, with one business that I was in, I didn't have to cold prospect people. I wasn't going out in the mall around Christmas time. I was leveraging online marketing, sales funnels, attraction marketing, and recruiting people. In one business, I remember this. I built up my account, to earn a full-time income, and I also built up an account for my mom and got her around a couple $1,000s per month. And last Christmas, I gave her that as her Christmas gift. Can you imagine how rewarding that was for me to give that to her? I've never been able to do that before. The first Christmas when I was in network marketing, I couldn't even afford, I had like $200 in my bank account. I couldn't even afford gifts for my family members. So I literally, it was going bankrupt if I were to get them a good gift. So I'd had to do like homemade stuff or like a picture or something like that. And I wanted to be able to give back more. So in order to give back more to other people, you really have to realize, what are you doing this for? How is this going to impact other people? Not only that, but how is this going to impact society as well? The business that you're in right now, let's say you want to be speaking on stage, in front of like 5,000 people. Are you visualizing that every single day? Are you closing your eyes and actually visualizing what's happening from the moment that you're given the introduction to walk up on stage? How many steps? This is how specific. The more specific you are, the more concrete this is going to be in your mind. See, what holds a lot of people back from stepping into their vision is they're not concrete, and they don't really have a crystal clear image that's going to push them every single day. So how many steps are there on the staircase? What does the stage look like? Where is the venue going on? Where is the event? Let's say it's your company's event and your goal is to speak on stage in front of 5,000 people. Okay, where's the event at? How is the introduction given to you before you step on the stage? What are you wearing at the time? And what's the reaction on people's faces after you're done giving your speech? Are they giving you a standing ovation, or are they sitting there in silence? See, once you take the time to visualize all this type of stuff, it's going to give more power to your why. It's going to give more power to your vision. See, I saw myself giving my mom that account at Christmas several months, like 6 months before it happened. I visualized every morning, waking up in the morning for Christmas, going downstairs, opening up the presents that they had gotten for me, and at the same time seeing the look on her face after I had given her that. And I saw that, and it happened, and it came true, just because I took time to visualize that. So number one, for yourself, have a why for yourself. Fill your glass first. That's going to allow you to have a why for the people around you, your parents, your family members, your relatives. And then it gets to the point where it's society, for changing the world. You want to speak at venues, 5,000 people, 10,000 people. You want to, have a big influence on YouTube, so people all over the world are watching your videos. See, I visualize, this is what I do, you guys, and this is what motivates me to make videos. Gary Vaynerchuk was talking about this too. He said, you obviously jab, 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 right hook, but what motivates him to do the jabs is the comments that he receives back from people. So I visualize when I'm making a video and I'm speaking to my target market, I visualize the comments, me reading the comments on the video that I'm making in the moment. So even though the video is not done, I visualize, okay, this video, I'm going to start getting comments of people reaching out to me on Facebook saying, dude, Nick, I saw the video. I really appreciate the value you just gave. That's awesome, man. I'm going to share this with my team. And I receive comments like that just because I take the time to visualize it, and that's what motivates me, you guys. So I jab, jab, jab. Then when I give a right hook, it's that much stronger because I take the time to have a deep-seated why. I close my eyes every single day, morning and night. The more, the better, you guys. If you have more free time during the day and you could just sit there for like an hour and visualize, it's good. Then what's gonna happen is you're gonna feel the motivation. See, motivation's a roller coaster. You're gonna wake up days, and I have days like this all the time, where I wake up and I'm like, don't really feel like doing anything today. It's like, then what do? Close my eyes, I put on some Baroque classical music, and just a quick little tangent on this, you guys, I know I'm kind of getting off, but what Baroque classical music does is it synchronizes the right hemisphere of the brain and the left hemisphere of the brain, the more analytical side and the more creative side, and gets them to work more in flow with each other so you can manifest things quicker. It also works pretty similar with binaural beats. If you look it up on Google and YouTube, you guys can do your own research. I'm not going to go into that, but when you do that, I visualize in the morning my lifestyle for myself, where I'm going to be living, where I'm going to be flying, what vacations I'm going to be taking. I visualize the impact that I'm going to have for my family, what it's going to do for them, buying my mom a beach house, allowing them to retire, do that. What I'm doing for society, speaking on stage in the near future, the company's event, standing up, getting a standing ovation, doing that. Once I visualize that, guess what happens? I'm flooded with positive emotions. And once I'm flooded with positive emotions, then I'm ready to start my day. You don't just wake up, hop out of bed, and you're just like ready to go, good to go. I know some people out there can do that. Some people are a little crazy, but the majority of people, like 99% of people, they struggle with that motivation stuff. So just take some time to visualize. And what that's going to do is that's going to start to remove doubt over time, because the only thing that's stopping you from stepping into your lifestyle is doubt. That's it. See, if you have a vision, you're like, yeah, I have a vision. You're hearing me say this stuff. You're like, yeah, Nick, I have a why. I have a why for myself. I have a why for my family. I have a why for society, but I haven't accomplished it yet. It's because there's a little bit of doubt, or there's a lot of doubt that's holding you back from accomplishing that. And how you kind of crush the doubt is just constantly staying plugged in with personal development, staying plugged in with these calls, constantly taking notes, reading over your notes, visualizing the lifestyle that you want. And what that's going to do is that's going to slowly reprogram your unconscious mind. Because if you guys have actually followed what we've said on these past calls and started listening to Your Wish is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau, he talks about this. He says there's 4 stages that we go through in learning information, okay? You start out at unconscious incompetence, meaning you don't know what you don't know. So it's like, as a kid, I'll give you an example. As a kid, you're growing up, you don't even know that you have to make money to live. Like, you think your parents are just having fun doing their thing, and you don't even know they're buying stuff with money. But then it gets to the point where you realize what money is. Maybe they give you some money for your birthday. You see some money, you ask them what it is. You have a conversation when you're younger, like 3, 4 years old, whatever it may be. I can't really remember exactly the age that I first realized what money is. But once you go from the stage of unconscious incompetence, then you go to the stage of conscious competence. So this works for positive, empowering beliefs, and it also works for negative, disempowering beliefs. Depending on which belief you're instilled when you're younger, this is how it builds up doubt. And I'm going to get into this, you guys, okay? So trying not to go too deep here, keep it surface level, but to the point where you can understand it and show you how to take it to the next level, okay? So once you go from unconscious incompetence, then you go to conscious incompetence. So meaning that you know that you don't know. So it's like, oh, shoot, well, I know what a piano is, but I don't know how to play the piano. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I understand. I see other people playing it. I know it's possible. It's like, but I have no idea how to do it. That usually happens instantaneously when you're open up to an idea, okay? Then it gets to the point where if you want to become competent with it, the next stage is conscious competence. And this goes where, you understand it and you're trying it, but you have to consciously recall what you're doing. So for example, it's like tying your shoes, okay? At one point, you didn't even know what shoes are. Then you know what shoes are. Then you know you have to tie your laces. Then you have to follow instructions, or maybe watch a video when you're younger. Watch someone else modeling other people. So they say you say what people say, you do what they do, you get what they get. So model people who have what you want. So if someone knows how to tie their shoes and you're using freaking Velcro laces, right? You get a pair of shoes with laces, you learn how to tie it. Conscious competence over and over and over again. And once you get it to the point where you don't even have to think about it, that's when it's unconscious competence, okay? And that's where most people are with the limiting beliefs that they have in their life. So if you want to kind of reprogram those limiting beliefs, remove the doubt so you can step into your vision and stay motivated forever, then you have to go to the seed, the unconscious, incompetence, at the point where you figured out a belief that you have, a belief about money, a belief that you have to work hard to make money. You're like, who did I get this belief from? Got this belief from, say, my parent, okay? Well, who do I know that isn't working that hard but is making more money than that person that I got the belief from? So you're modeling, you guys, and then you can take that and you can kind of transition it over time. But I know I'm kind of off on a little bit of a tangent here with it, but I hope that kind of helps you guys out, and just understand that, you don't have to understand everything. You don't have to be the best speaker in the world. You don't have to be the best presenter. You just have to have faith that what you're doing is going to work out for you. Constantly visualize the lifestyle you want, a year from right now, for yourself, people around you, and a much bigger scale on society, and that's going to help you stay motivated for 2016, because 2015, is a great year for some people. It's a transition year. Like they're saying, it's pre-game. 2016 is the actual game. It's the year that you can step into your dream, and I believe you have everything it takes. I believe it's possible for you. It's happened, for a lot of us on the team. We're living the lifestyle we want, not working a job, and you can do the same thing. There's nothing that separates us from you other than time, and the fact that we've raised our belief level, we've limited the amount of doubt that we have, and we constantly keep doing it. Not perfect, but we're constantly growing every single day. So with that being said, Paul, I'm going to pass it back off to you, my man. And real quick, you guys, obviously, if you're new with this right here, you're getting a lot of information from this, but Paul is one of the dudes that I listen to nonstop. This guy absolutely destroys it with speaking, not only introductions, but value as well. So I highly, highly encourage you guys, if you don't have a notebook out, if you don't have a pen or pencil, get it out right now and take notes on what he's about to say, because I'm positive he's going to crush it.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate it. So, you guys, here's the deal. Nick, like I said, he serves to inspire me every single time. And like I said, inspiration is a dime a dozen. Nick talks about creating, this habit, this routine of continual visualization. And I think that's the most difficult part for most people. And you got to understand that not everyone in the world, not the most successful ultra, businessman, millionaire, billionaire, could attribute all of their successes to just visualization. However, you do need to take everything that we say with a grain of salt. I'm not asking you to buy it. All I'm asking is that you figure out, take the ideas that really inspire you and apply those. And if those don't work, pick something else up and try again. And if it doesn't work that time, try again. Here's my point, though. You're going to figure out what works best for you and what doesn't. Because there are some, multimillionaires out there who are just going to be like, well, here's the deal. I never really visualized it, but they don't even realize they did, right? They don't realize that was the only thing on their mind 24/7, right? The fact that they wanted to create this business that grew and grew and grew and grew. And they didn't realize that it was just a visualization. So Nick's farther, ahead in the terms of personal development than most people. But I also want you to understand that you don't need to, think, okay, so I've heard this is the secret to success, and this is the secret to success, and this over here is the reason, someone did well, and so I need to do all 12 of those things. Find, a few things and master them, but make them habits and a discipline. And so here's the deal. How to stay motivated 24/7, right? Well, the reality is you're probably not going to be. I think that title may be a little bit misleading. However, I do believe that it's possible to stay motivated, 23/7. It is possible because here's the deal. While you're, doing all of these things, you got to understand that it's a discipline. It's a habit. You have to form the habit first, right? And so if you realize, okay, maybe it is true. Maybe I'm not thinking about my goal enough. Maybe 2016 is not going to be that great because my doubts are bigger than my, my courage. My doubts are bigger than my faith. Why is that? Maybe I'm not focused enough on what I want to actually do with my life. I kind of know what I want to do. I guess the first step is knowing what you want to do, all right? And you don't need to know how you got to get there. I think that's another big mistake most people make. Most people think that, I need to have the whole plan set up right there. But the reality is if you have enough courage and faith to walk through and follow through with what you need to do or what you want to accomplish, okay, the rest will take care of itself. That's a huge mistake. That actually holds people where they're at their entire lives. And I can give you, countless examples. I'm sure off the top of your head you could think of people that said, I wanted to do this or that with my life, but here they are, 60 years old, still in the same shoes they were at 20. And so my point is you got to understand that it's all habits. It's all a discipline. And a discipline, like anything else, is a practice. Right? If you don't practice, what happens? You get worse and worse and worse. If you don't use it, you lose it. Okay? In a story, I know, some of you guys have heard this before. Most of you haven't. Back when I was 20 years old, I got really sick, like sick. And I realized, now, back then I didn't know what was going on. Back then I was so sick that I couldn't even walk. I remember I actually had to have my girlfriend help me walk up the stairs because I lost all the muscle mass in my legs, all the muscle mass in my body. It was really weird. I went to the chiropractor one day because I started to feel this tweak in my back, and I thought maybe my back, a vertebrae was off, something was off, right? Because I started getting weaker and weaker and weaker. I could barely pick my legs up. And I was like, well, maybe, something's off my back. So I went to the chiropractor, and he noticed that I had, and I noticed this too, but I was scared to say it because I didn't want to, feel like I'm 20 years old and I had a stroke. But, the left-hand side of my face was drooping just a little bit. And by drooping, I mean when I smiled, only this side moved up, okay? This eye would not blink as fast as this one. And so, he was like, well, here's the deal, Paul. I don't really want to ruin anything. I don't want to mess you up any more than you are. This is kind of scary, so I need you to get clearance to work on you. You need to go, get a physical. So I went to go get a physical at an urgent care. And that day, the lady was like, well, are you working with any harsh chemicals? And I was like, well, no, I'm not. She's like, well, that's the only real reason that you would have all these symptoms. It looks like you're getting really weak. Obviously your blood pressure is extremely high. Your heart rate's, resting at about 150. All right, you start to exercise a little, you're gonna die. And so, that was really scary for me. But I was like, sitting there thinking to myself, what the hell could cause this, right? So I walked out of there. She's like, I'm gonna get back to you in a day or so. That night, she was so worried about me. That night, she called me 3 times, and left a voicemail saying, here's the deal, Paul. I'm really worried about you. You need to go to the ER, like now, not later, now. And so I actually took a trip to the ER. Started barely, like, I'm not kidding, I could barely pick my feet up. I remember at one point I had to have, I literally tried to pick my foot up on and put it on a curb. And at that point in time, my legs gave out and I fell back, and that was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. I'm like, why is this happening to me, right? I think most people want to ask why all the time. Sometimes there isn't an answer for everything. But I do believe that your mind's powerful enough to create these symptoms or these things in your body. Your body's a direct reflection of what your thoughts are. So anyways, I was in the ER. I went to the ER, and they did, an EKG, blood tests, CAT scan, 2 MRIs, and they were like, you don't have a stroke, and that was really a big relief. You don't have anything really that we can tell that's wrong with you. You seem pretty normal, other than the fact that you have a little bit of a high white blood cell count, obviously, because you're sick, right? So they thought it might have been some hormonal issue. And here's the funny thing. At that moment in time, I was sitting there with some IVs and all sorts of crap in my arms, and I was laying there extremely weak, the skinniest I'd ever been. I think I'd lost like 30 pounds, 40 pounds of mass, and as a 20-year-old, you're sitting there wondering why. You're wondering, what's going on. And so, long story short, I was sitting there thinking to myself, well, if they can't find anything wrong, I know what's wrong. It's me. That's it. It's me. It's not some, there's not an explanation for everything in life. You can't explain why, the person you love left you, or why you're not getting the success you wanted. When I started network marketing, I saw, kids my age making 10 and 15 grand, 29 grand a month, and I was wondering, why not me? I'm working just as hard as them. But, you got to quit asking those, why type of questions and start figuring out, okay, well, maybe there's something wrong with the way I'm thinking about the situation. Maybe the whole situation's wrong because I'm always thinking, why me, as opposed to, what do I want, and what are the steps and the disciplines that I need to create and develop in my life to get after it and make that happen, right? So here's the point. I was sitting there and I told myself, well, this is a true test of you, Paul. You're going to make it through this. This is a test. That's all it is. And you're going to make it through this and come out alive. You're going to be fine. And, everyone there was worried about me. They're all like, this doesn't happen normally. You're 20 years old. Your doctors always assume the worst. So if you ever go to a doctor and they're telling you you're going to die, you have 10 months to live, tell them, maybe your ability to, work with me has terminated. That's it. I think that was a Les Brown quote where, he had cancer for 19 years of the colon. And they said, you're terminally ill. You're going to die within yada, yada, yada. And he was like, well, here's the deal. I don't believe that's the case. Instead, they should have told me, my ability to help you has terminated. You should go see someone else, right? Because no doctor knows you better than you know yourself, right? So, as long as you have the willpower to move forward with, courage and faith, you'll get through anything. And that moment in time, after that month, I started to get better. I started to get healthier. They never figured out what was wrong with me. But here's my point. If you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. And I wasn't using my mind like I should have been. I wasn't using my body like I should have been. I stopped working out. I stopped caring. I got into this, rut of depression and anxiety, and, things stressed me out. And, so I had to grow up pretty fast there. Now, I didn't grow up all the way, but in terms of my health, I had to grow up real quick, right? Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here. So that at the moment in time, I guess that didn't seem like a huge deal, but I realized now, looking back on it, I wasn't using everything that I was giving. I wasn't using the gifts that I was giving, and so they were taken away from me. Refer back to that Jim Rohn story, that Bible story, right, of the man with the talents. If you don't know what that is, just look up Jim Rohn talent story. And so that was my point. We must all pay a price, all right? The disciplines in life cost you. And most people don't think of where they want to be, but instead they think of what's in front of them and, what's going to stop them from getting it. That's all they ever see. They see the obstacles. They focus on the obstacles, right? Where focus goes, energy flows. They focus on the obstacles before they focus on the goal. And so that's a huge, huge issue. And I think a lot of us, I don't know. It's something about the world that we grow up in that, allows us to see the cynical side of things. And it's the people who see the positive side of things, the people who grow in their faith in themselves and, move forward without doubt, right, are the ones who succeed in life. But it's easy to get caught up in the cynical side of life, right? So everything costs, everything. Everything. The success you want costs you. The body you want costs you. But if you're focusing on the obstacles, they will continue to stay there, and they're actually going to grow and grow and grow and grow. You're going to be worse off than you were before. But I want you to ask you one question, right? How much is it costing you to not achieve your goal? How much does it cost you not to have what you want? How much does that, entire TV marathon cost you? Is it costing you an entire day's work? That entire day's work where you could have met that one person that could possibly change your life in business, right? That one person who could help you to reach that goal a lot more quickly. That 1 2-hour period of a movie, right, that you're sitting there watching could absolutely destroy your chances, right? And so one of my favorite quotes from Jim Rohn, he said, make rest a necessity, not an objective. Make rest a necessity, not an objective. I think that's really important. You guys should write it down. Make rest and put it in front of you where you can see it every single morning. You realize, you know what, I shouldn't stay that extra 10 minutes in bed and press the snooze button an extra 3 times, and we're all, guilty of that, right? But here's my point. When you're doing that, you're basically starting off your day telling the universe, God, whatever you, want to call the force, whatever it may be, Star Wars, right? If you guys have seen that movie yet, but whatever you want to call it, you're basically telling them, I just want to put a handicap on my life right now. I want to rest a little bit more. I don't care enough about my future and my goals that I'm willing to press that button and snooze another 10 minutes. Lay still, relax another 10 minutes. But the reality is, the life that you want is on the other side of hard work and labor, right? And I'm hoping this is practical information, and I'm hoping you start to realize that this information and success and whatever you want is so freaking practical that you've been looking past it and beyond it this entire time. It's easy to get caught up in some of the things that Nick says because they work for him, but they may not always work for you. All right? I've noticed that sometimes I get advice from people that are making way more money than me. And sometimes I try it, and maybe I don't click with that right away, because you and I are all individual, and sometimes it's easy to get caught up. Like I was saying, Nick tells you all these things, and a lot of them, and I promise you they work, but maybe you're looking at that and focusing on that too much, as opposed to simply picking up the disciplines and allowing all those other disciplines, right? One discipline strengthens another, which strengthens another, which strengthens another, and if you allow, right, laziness and the guilt to seep into your life, well then at that moment in time, your disciplines will begin to tear apart and rip apart and become destroyed. And the more that you let one lazy habit form, another will begin to form, and another will begin to form, right? So there's a difference, right? This upward spiral and this downward spiral. And maybe you're in the middle, maybe you're at the bottom, maybe you're at the top, right? But here's my point. You need to focus on the disciplines first, because that's all you really have control of. And maybe sometimes you can't do it right in that day. You have control of your mind first. If you stay positive, right? If instead of looking at one thing, I can't work today because I'm traveling. Instead of that, think of, God, this is an amazing day to do some personal development while I'm sitting in a freaking car or in a plane traveling, and I'm going to write down and take some notes because I have the ability to at least do that because I have no service. That tomorrow, when I do have service, I'm going to put into action what I learned. I'm going to create a habit and a discipline for success, right? So before I go on too long, I need you to understand that here's the deal. We all must pay a price. We all must pay a price, right? The price, here's the difference. The price is either going to allow you to become the most successful person you possibly ever thought you could be and more, or it's going to allow you to become the least, successful, the most broken person that you've ever known. But the price you have to pay is important. So understand that there's 2 ways you can go. You can only go up or down. You can't stay where you're at, right? And I've been in both places, and I've gone back and forth. All right, I'm not here to tell you I'm the perfect person, and neither of us are. But discipline is going to allow you to change that, right? The small, daily, simple disciplines. I think that's something that I'm going to continue to preach for the rest of my life, because that's all it really takes to create the habit, right, of visualization, like Nick was talking about, right? Or maybe thinking about your why, which is exactly what Tim was talking about, right? Or maybe, the discipline of simply sharing the plan with 5 freaking people, like Andy was talking about, and getting 2 started. That's all it takes to get, to the other side of wherever you want to be, the other side of the fence. All right? So 2016 is going to be an amazing year for me, and I hope it is going to be for you guys too. All right? And, I appreciate you guys being on the call. if you liked the call, share the freaking call with some of your team, with someone that you feel like, you know what, they need to hear this now, you know, because if I heard it and it inspired me to work on me or my business or my, you know, relationships, whatever it may be, well, then it's going to inspire them too. And that's all we ask. I'm not asking you to, you know, help me get 1 million views on my YouTube channel. I would like it. I'm asking you to do that because we're pouring out right now. We're pouring this information into you. And if you don't pour out, then guess what? You're being selfish. You're being greedy. You're not sharing the information that could change someone else's life. And you know what? Maybe they come back. Karma works in that way, right? Maybe they come back and give to you because you gave to them first. So I love you guys. All right, tomorrow we're having a call, an MLSP call. Does anyone know exactly what the topic's going to be? I think it's going to be pretty freaking sick. I remember reading it like 2-3 days ago. Tim, do you want to pull that up? Do you have that up or no? Anyone, Nick?
I don't have it up. I'm on my phone, bruh.
Hold on.
She's a struggle.
Hold on. I'm gonna check this real quick. Does anyone know before? If you get it to me, excuse me. If you get to it before I do, let me know.
We need to get this get up for MLSP, by the way.
Here's what it says right here. I'm on. It says Mr. X. So we'll figure out who Mr. X is. Maybe it's
Mr. X.
Big
It
dinner.
sounds like Mr. Extreme.
Seriously, man. Reveals
Mr. Extreme Team.
He's going to reveal how he got 500 real email addresses for 0.28, so 28 cents each, with Facebook's brand new one-click mobile marketing platform. So this is actually something pretty cool I want to learn because I know Facebook, you know, they're upgrading their pay-per-click and what they're doing for advertising. Since I'm just learning about that, there's an option where people can actually just click an ad and automatically it fills out the capture page automatically with their info, their email address, so they don't even have to take the time to fill it out. So it'll increase your opt-in rate,
Wins.
like, and blow it through the roof. So this will be a really important one to hop
That's
on.
nuts.
Wins.
That's actually crazy. I'm excited for it too. It's
like
called
as
a
soon as
lead
they
ad.
click on it, there's no going back.
Balls deep.
Exactly, and then you can steal all their money.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm joking.
I drew your interest through my advertisement, and you were interested enough to click on it, so now I've got you.
Got him.
I've got you.
Fair enough. So anyways, you guys, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, you know, the link's going to be up in the Marketing Elite group. For those of you guys that are watching this, you know, that's going to be long gone, so forget about it. But if you do join MLSP, you can watch it, all right, in your back office, in the training library. You'll be able to watch that 10 years from now, which probably will be irrelevant. However, some amazing stuff if you're learning how to generate leads online, especially through Facebook, especially making it a lot easier than having to create a bunch of, you know, crazy capture pages and whatnot. Literally, Facebook takes care of all of the work for you. So all you've got to do is click they click on your link, they click one button, and you've already got, you know, their name, their email, and their phone number, which is really, really freaking cool. So tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, the link will be in the Marketing Elite. It'll also be in your back office. You can share this with people. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are going to see the value in MLSP and in this group. I think this group is more valuable than MLSP, to be completely honest, only because you've got some minds here that, you know, can possibly change the game for you. So that being said, tomorrow 7 p.m. And if you're watching this in the future, every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. there's going to be an MLSP webinar, which is really, really freaking cool. Other than that, I love you guys. Thank you for hopping on the call. We will see you guys tomorrow on the call, or on actually not Thursday, because Thursday is Christmas Eve and we're all going to be drinking eggnog. We're going to get eggnog drunk.
Eggnog.
All right, fellas. Well, shoot, we'll see you guys soon. Peace.